Hello there and welcome back to my boat shed. My name is Panu and I am building that boat over there here in not so winterish Finland anymore. It's now early March and the spring is kind of starting to raise its head a little bit. Yeah, next week's gonna be still cold. But this video we're gonna start here from the outside because I just got a new bunch of material, a few sheets of cheap plywood to make the temporary frames for the boat. There's gonna be a few temporary frames I have talked about. This is gonna be that, and we're gonna machine those next week, I believe. As for this video, we're gonna continue with the ballast keel timbers, of course. This is the oak pile we did in previous video. And I've been thinking a lot during this week, how should I make that as efficiently as possible and get a strong and good result. And spoiler, I'm gonna use the CNC. Woohoo! And as there is a lot of new subscribers, because last week there was this news report in the national TV of my project. Welcome all. Tervetuloa suomeksi myös. Anyway, this is the boat, and what we are doing here, the ballast keel, I'm gonna explain a little bit for you that now first. The term keel is a little bit of a difficult term because there's actually 3 keels in this boat. The actual keel timber is going to be there in the middle. It's kind of the backbone of the boat. It holds everything together. Then there is ballast keels that are the keels that stick from the bottom and have weight in them. This boat is going to have 2 of them. And the one is going to be here and another one over there on the same spot. And for these we need mounting points for those ballast keels, and they need to be done before we do the actual hull shape here. And that's going to be done from oak because oak is much more strong to hold the compressive load from the keel bolts that will go through the oak and into the keel. There's going to be steel parts wrapping around here. But anyway, the oak will hold the kind of the momentum and the forces from the keel, which are going to be quite substantial. So I want to do them as strong as possible, of course. Anyway, let's now jump into the computer for a minute. I'll explain what I'm gonna do with the CNC and then we start doing that. Sorry about the mess in here. I'll zoom you a little bit to the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. This board here is the waste board of the CNC, so the CNC machine will kind of work in here. And I have programmed now holes for some clamps in there, and also this groove that will make the shape of the ballast keel timbers, that I'm gonna be able to glue the oak pieces on this table as straight as possible. Then we're gonna have these timbers, of course, glued in. They're a little bit oversized in every direction except this one. You can maybe see the groove in there. That's the groove. And when the timbers are glued in, we're gonna have them planed, surface planed down with the CNC, with the surfacing bit. It's gonna make them smooth and consistently thick. Then we're gonna machine these holes for the actual keel bolt to them as well. And then the last thing is to route the outer edges to make them right size. So that way I can assure that the pieces are straight, they're flat because the CNC bed is the flattest surface I have. I can glue them right in there and then we can machine them at the same time there. So they will stay there basically when I glue them, and then I'll take them out when they are ready to be installed. So that's the plan. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this will work just fine. But first I'm gonna cut some molds or clamps or kind of holders that we will glue against to. I'm using MDF and yeah, this is familiar stuff if you have been following me for a while. All right, now those mold pieces are cut over there, waiting for the surface to be prepared. Here is the program. It's gonna cut some holes, throw in both sides for those pieces. They will be on the sides, and then there is holes for the clamps in the middle, and then the outer edge of the actual keel timber, and those should appear on the spoil board now. And then we just hope for one thing, that the blade doesn't hit the place where there is mounting screws of the spoil board. So fingers crossed that they should be here in the middle. There shouldn't be any of those, but I'll be ready. I will start the dust collection. Sorry for the noise. All right, now we have holes for the squishers and clamps there, and then we have the outer edge of the both ballast keel timbers. And the battery will die on this camera now, but I will continue tonight to prepare the oak. You don't want to see that anymore. Oak, making some scarf joint cuts and stuff like that, and we will continue with you tomorrow. It's the next day. It's quite warm. It's almost 10 degrees in here in the tent. It's nice and warm and sunny, a little bit windy though. But today I'm trying to take advantage of this warmth, because next week is gonna be a little colder again. Unfortunately, I think I don't have enough time to glue these oaks today, because I have now planed them all their own size. I did the scarf joints for the first layer. So I'm gonna have 2 layers of oak. This is the first layer. I have now these scarf joints, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter ones. I need to trim these down the length still. And then I need to sand them all and then wipe them with alcohol to remove any residues or stuff. Surface quality with the planing, this is just freaking amazing. This is so nice, but this is not good for gluing. This is too smooth and too tight surface for putting epoxy in that, so I need to rough them with sander. But as mentioned, I probably don't have time to prepare all that and then glue them and then glue these as well. And I figure that those I can glue on the CNC table and put some insulation boards. I have plenty over there, but for these there is really no way I can insulate or heat these. So I'm gonna postpone the oak glue up next week someday, and now today I'm gonna glue these in. Yeah, but I think you have seen a lot of glue up. The basic principle is to mix some epoxy with my, don't look at the table, it's quite messy. I need to clean up that a little bit. I mix epoxy, I roll them on those surfaces. They are plain surface, but those are pine or actually spruce. And they soak up the epoxy quite well and they attach very well. There's a little bit of gap somewhere, so I maybe need to use some filling agent there. And for that I have this container of fumed silica. That creates kind of smooth, thickened epoxy, but it doesn't have any fibers, so it's maybe not that structural. But this bag I have here, this contains pine dust, and this is sanding dust. This is very, very fine, and I used this in those bolts a few weeks back, and it worked very, very well, and it should create very strong adhesive because it has, of course, wood fibers in there. So the epoxy kind of joins with that. So you can see there's a little bit of gaps, maybe some gaps there to fill. So I'm gonna use the wood flour thickened epoxy in there. Maybe I put some time lapse on. Don't you think that's a good idea to show you a little bit something instead of me just jammering on? Alrighty, it's a couple of days later. Last weekend, as I mentioned, was quite warm and I got this glued. So all of this is in. This is the front mast packings around the mast step over these three frames. These are done. And then on Sunday I got this middle mast, first half of that glued in. That was quite a big job. There is so 36 pieces there to glue in, and as you can see there's a lot of squeeze out. They were a little bit crooked, so I wanted to put enough epoxy in between there to have a really good bond, and I think that's good enough. So yeah, I still need to do this side. It took like 6 hours to do that, so same thing is waiting me here. But it's now quite cold week. It's down to -5 or even lower during nights. So I'm probably not gonna glue in things this week yet. I have plenty of things to do. These couple of days I've been just working and had a work trip on Monday and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of preventing me to put some time in this. But I think I mentioned before that I got all the strips, the oak strips done. So they're all waiting here to be kind of finished to put in here, and I got this thing CNC cut. I want to get over with that soon because then I need to cut some plywood with the CNC again, and I need to free up that bed for that, so I should be able to do that this week at some point. I just have so much to do right now. It's kind of annoying because I would like to spend some time here, but yeah, now I need to go back into my office there and do some work for the rest of the day. So maybe tomorrow, maybe on Friday I can put some time into this again. And then I need to kind of follow the weather a little bit with the middle mast step thing. I really want to get those done soon because yeah, they're quite annoying. That's a lot of wood to laminate in there in one go. So yeah. And then of course when we start cutting the plywood to the temporary frames, the first frame will go in here, and after that we can start gluing up the stem. That's gonna be in next video. I hope so. We'll see about that. But these are kind of separate things, but I want to get over with those ballast keel timbers first. Yeah, this was just a kind of mid-week update. Alrighty. It is now the next day, the Friday evening. I was supposed to get this video done today, but yeah, here I am. Yesterday I got all the pieces of the ballast keel timbers cut. They're waiting here. They were already on their places, dry fitted there. Now today I just trimmed them to their final lengths and started to sand them. Let's go and check that out a little bit. I have this new sander that Bosch sent me with the vacuum. This is absolutely amazing. Maybe a little bit too heavy for small pieces like this. It kind of requires two hands to operate efficiently. But here is the sanded stuff. The surface is just pristine, amazing. This kind of satin finish. Looks really good. I still need to sand those piles. And the reason is, as mentioned, to get the epoxy to bond to that oak well enough. I still need to wipe them down with some alcohol to get rid of all the whatever acids there is that might prevent epoxy to stick to the wood. And I think I'm gonna do actually a test glue up before I glue the actual things, because yeah, I never done anything from oak before, not to mention gluing it with epoxy. So I want to make sure that I do it right. Anyway, I'm gonna glue those next week. It's gonna be much warmer. This week has been quite cold. And I hope that next week I also get this final batch of wood glued up there. Then all the packings around here on the masts are done. There's 36 pieces and those are 1.4 meter long. So it took maybe 4 kilos of epoxy to glue those. So yeah, but I want to do it well enough because they're quite important piece of the boat. Not to mention these. Yeah, these are all very important pieces. I want to make them as well as I possibly just can. Anyway, I was gonna make this video today. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Maybe I'll edit this tomorrow morning when I wake up and have a little time by myself. And what else? Oh yeah, I got 15,000 subscribers last week. That was because of the news thing in national TV. I was in TV actually. That was kind of surprising. Anyway, I got 15,000 subscribers and I've been thinking now maybe I should go and announce target for this year if we could get 50,000 subscribers. That would be great. So if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, do it now. And if you want to support the project, you can go and check out the Patreon page, the t-shirt shop. You can buy these headphones from the link down below. And all those things, they give me a little bit of revenue from tiny little streams. And all of those help me to purchase materials and most importantly put time into making this boat and making these videos. Because yeah, it just takes time, and that's really the reality of having a full-time job and trying to do something like this. You just need to prioritize, and yeah, the work kind of prevents me to do what I want to do. I really want to do this, but the reality is that it needs funding a lot more than I am getting from these videos. So yeah, go and check those, and I think I'll end this video here, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully getting this glue up finally done, getting to do some additional stuff for the actual boat here. Yeah, see you then. Now, bye bye.